Say hello, hello everyone. This is Kelly with Honeybee Stamps, and today I'm going to be creating a Mother's Day card, actually for my grandmother, using some older stamps and die sets, like this Cosmos set, and the Best Parents stamps, and the coordinating dies that go along with this. So, let's see here. Hello, Miss Deanna. Let's see. While I am welcoming everyone in and everyone's coming into the chat, I want to remind everyone that, hello, Rebecca, on April 12th through the 16th, we're having a big celebration for Honeybee Stamps. On the 16th is the 6th birthday of Honeybee Stamps, and we are going to be having some fun giveaways and party and celebration live streams with some demos and things like that. And we're going to be coming to you from Honeybee Stamps headquarters in Oregon. So we're super excited about that, and I urge you to mark these dates on your calendar because we'll be popping in and out, chatting with everyone and having a great time. Actually, I'm really excited about it. So that is that. And let's see here. Rebecca is in the house. Let's see, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. And then make sure that you remember to chat or add a comment. That's how we scroll through and choose a giveaway winner for the end of the live stream. So if you're a newbie here, just make sure you say hello and tell us where you're from. If you're catching this on the replay, we urge you to leave a little comment in the comments below as well. We love to go back and read your comments, and we want to say hello and welcome if you're watching on the replay. Okay. Oh, Deanna's in Oregon. How fun! Hello, Sherry in Indiana. Okay, so I am going to get started. Like I said, I'm taking these older, I've been really into pulling older sets out of my Honeybee Stamps stash. And so I'm going to use these Cosmos. These are available at honeybeestamps.com, as well as the dies and also the sentiments that I'll be using later on. So what I've done to start out is I stamped every one of these flowers, the little bud, and the leaves. The larger flowers I each did once, the buds twice, and the leaves a couple of times as well. I'm going to be making a whole kind of little garden for this Mother's Day card. And as I mentioned before, I am making a card for my 87-year-old grandmother for Mother's Day. And so this is going to be, you can kind of see the color palette that I've got going on here. It's a little more subdued than maybe what I would normally choose, but I think that she's going to absolutely love it. So what I've done is I have stamped my florals in Versamark clear sticky ink. Let me see if I can't find one. So this is what it looks like when you have it in the package. And I stamped those onto white cardstock, and I heat embossed the images with white embossing powder. So then I have this nice bright white that's going to pop out. So I decided I was going to do some easy coloring today by using the embossing powder and some oxide inks, and I'm going to do that resist technique. I wanted to make this kind of super simple. I didn't want it to be really fussy with Copic coloring, and so I am just going to quickly blend on some color for these beautiful flowers, and I'll kind of show you how I go about it in blending over that embossing powder. Okay, let's see here. Okay, everybody is saying hello in the chat. So cool. Okay, so I've started out with my yellow centers on these flowers. You can see this one here has a yellow center, and then it kind of goes into a darker pink and then fades out to this kind of corally, dusty pink, which is the tattered rose. Okay, so I'm going to start here with these, and the next color that I'm going to use right on the outside of that yellow, which is scattered straw in the center, I'm going to go with worn lipstick. And so that scattered straw is going to fade into worn lipstick and then into the tattered rose on the outside of the florals. Now you could use a sponge dauber, you can use your Honeybee Stamps blending brushes, whatever is the easiest for you to kind of rub on that color. And I'm just going to do this very quickly and rub in this pink right around the sides. And I might as well do this one while we've got the pink out, kind of tapping it off. Go right around the edges. And this is just a super easy way for me to get color on these images without spending a lot of time with the color. If you love to color, and I do sometimes, this is just one more option, I think. Okay, now I'm going to take that tattered rose and I'm going to go right around the edges. And then I will probably go in again with that yellow, which is the scattered straw, to really pop that yellowy orangey center. Okay. Pop this down. Again, I'm going to go in like this and then really kind of pop out that center. Blend it out just a little bit. There we go. And then for all of my leaves and the stems, I'm going to use Shabby Shutters. I kind of like this subdued kind of minty fresh green, and so I'm going to be using that one. And then I'm going to go heavy down in here where I can reach it and it's not going to get and make a mess. And then for my little areas, I am going to take these little bitty detail brushes and kind of go right up in these areas so I don't make a mess. There we go. And then I'm just going to take a paper towel and give it a little bit of a wipe down here. And this takes all of that ink off of that white embossing powder. And then you can see I have that here. So kind of subdued, kind of a little more laid back, not just super bright, depending on what colors you could use. And like I said, I'm kind of using colors that I know that my elderly grandmother will love. So I suggest that you use whatever you think that the recipient is going to love. Let's see here. Sherry Deanna said the colors are gorgeous. Thank you. Love Cosmos. Grow some last year, but they're about, oh my word, I had no idea that they grew that tall. That's pretty cool. Okay, going in with the, scattered straw. Just like this. And I kind of like these oxide inks for this too, because if you kind of make a boo-boo and get it down into, you can kind of cover everything up. Let's see here. I am going to go in, oh, you know what? I did this one yellow instead of the pink on the outside. I think I'm going to leave it. It kind of pops that out, doesn't it? Let me go in with a little bit darker pink. That's what happens when I start talking. Let me go in with a pink in here and pull that out. We'll have a whole nother look here. That was an accident, but I think it's a happy accident. Just like so, and then let me take my green now, and let me get the areas that I can reach with the dauber, and then I'm going to take this really fine tip and go on the little details up in here so I don't make a mess. There we go. Kind of wipe everything down. Let's see here. Those little brushes make all the difference. They really do. They really help you get into those little nooks and crannies. And I, as you can tell, tend to be not so careful of a crafter. And so when I remember, I really try to grab those little brushes to get those little fine areas so I don't have to go back later on and clean up my messes. Okay, now for the little buds. So you can see this little bud. Let me hold it up. It's kind of hard to see. So you can see there's a little round like pod in the middle. And then all the rest of it is going to be green from the little leaves and everything kind of popping out. So at first I'm going to take that darkest pink, which is the worn lipstick, and I'm going to use that little detail brush and go right in that center where that little bud would be. Then I can take the other little brush with the shabby shutters, and that's when I can kind of go around, not to really disturb that pink a whole lot, but then I can still get the look of the kind of green, and then I can take it right down the stem, like so. And then let me give it another little wipe off here, and then this is really easy peasy. Let me hold it up. And then you can really see how the little pod in the middle, the little bud kind of pops out with the green around the edges. Okay, let's see. I've got a few more leaves to do, and then we're ready to go with the rest of it. Make sure if you have any questions. I know Lisa, let's see, I don't think they're supposed to get that tall. They went rogue. I love that. You know what? I'm all about low maintenance, and if they go rogue and look beautiful on their own, I say go for it. I used to have in Oklahoma, when I lived there, used to have some sunflowers that did that would just come back year after year and go crazy, and I loved them. Now, if I tried to grow them on my own, they would probably never grow. Okay, let's put all these kind of back away. Let's take my paper towel, give these a little brush off, and I kind of like that the paper that cuts around the die cut is going to be the same color as the insides, because when you do heat emboss, you do lose a little bit of that detail. But I think this is kind of a fun way. You're still going to be able to see that these are leaves and the beautiful florals. It's just a fun way to get some easy color without having to pull out your watercolors or your pencils or your Copic markers. And now I have a whole Cosmos garden over here without having to spend a whole lot of time coloring those. Okay, so I think the first thing that I want to do before I get on to my garden that's going to spread across the bottom of my card, I do want to go ahead and get the Happy Mother's Day sentiment up here at the top, because I want to see how much room I'm going to have down here to kind of spread out and play with my florals. So I'm going to move those aside. Now I have my cuts done, and I took this really pretty kind of olivey green color, and that's going to be the shadow from Mother's. I have cut Mother's in the same kind of creamy off-white cardstock, so that will coordinate. And then I need to stamp from this Best Parents stamp set. I'm going to stamp Happy and Day. And I'm going to go ahead and make it totally easy on myself. And I'm going to stamp it in this onto this olivey green cardstock. And I'm going to white heat emboss it. So it's going to pull out this white from here, and everything's going to kind of flow and go all together. So I can go ahead, and I've got my Misty already set up. So you can see I have a scrap of that beautiful olive cardstock in there, and I have Happy and Day, and I've spread them out because I'm going to kind of play with where I want to place them around the Mother's die cut. So I have it like that, and I'm going to go ahead and treat my olive cardstock with my anti-static powder. And then again, use that watermark stamp pad, the Versamark. And I'm going to give it a squish here onto my stamps. And then stamp this down. Now you could go with whatever color combination you're working on. Let's do one more time just to make it all nice and crisp. And then I'm going to pull this up. I did put a new sticky mat into my Misty today. My other one was getting a little bit yucky. And so I just cut up an inexpensive like Cricut mat or Silhouette mat. Mine is just the off-brand, and fit it right down in there to hold all of my little die cuts and things like that. Okay, so now I've got Happy and Day. So I'm going to go ahead before I forget and I don't make a mess. Pour that right back in there and put the lid on. Let's see here. Sherry is loving the color combo. Alright, now I can just simply heat set this. It's going to be kind of loud for just a second. Okay, now I've got that, and I'm going to let that cool off for just a second while I go ahead and do my mother's die cut. So as I mentioned before, I use that olive green, and I've cut, let me show you, since I have these out. So these are a lot like our buzzword sets, where a couple, the mom and the dad, have the big shadow that has the pierced edge around. And then there is mothers and fathers. There's an ampersand. Let me find the stamp set too. And I could totally be lying to you. No, I think that's right. And then, let's see here. What am I missing? Mothers and fathers only have one shadow because they're a little bit larger to kind of fit everything in here. So I have die cut mothers here and then that shadow in green. And so I have kept everything in here because I specifically didn't want to lose the little apostrophe. So I'm just going to use my little handy dandy honeybee stamps tool and kind of poke everything out of my die cut. So I can get everything out right here on my mat and I don't lose any of the little pieces. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of our liquid adhesive and I can very carefully because this is very fine kind of lettering here, I'm just going to barely dab that on the back of these letters because I don't want it to squish out from behind. So I'm barely touching the glue onto that. There we go. And then I'm going to get everything lined up and then kind of press it down into place. Okay, let's see here. Love the bee coloring. Thank you. Oh, this here. Oh, no, you can't even see that. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are getting my notifications from my phone. So that notification is a little funny. That is Melissa, the owner of Honeybee Stamps, and Lisa and I chatting with one another. So, a little funny there. I thought I had my notifications off, but obviously I don't. Real life. Okay, I get the S here. Let's see, I love that tool. Love it, use it all the time. I love my little, I call it my little pokey tool. I love the little pokey tool. I use it for everything. I use it to pick up die cuts and set down little die cuts. Okay, so I've got that down. I use it for little like sequins and everything to kind of pick them up and set them into place. Okay, now I can do this and get everything ready to go. And this is actually ready to cut now that I've let it dry. So I'm going to put my big old trimmer here and I'm going to trim this out. You can use a die if you want to kind of trim these. And I'm just going to eyeball this like so, and then kind of take a look at it. Wipe off any of that anti-static powder, and I can kind of tell that the bottom is a little bit off from the top, so I'm actually going to try, if I can, with my big old fingers and trim it just like so. This is another good use of that little tool. Kind of hold everything down and get everything moved into place. There we go. I'm going to trim it one more time. Butt it up there. There we go. And then I can kind of move it with my little pokey tool. Just like so. I definitely don't want to slice it. Oh, nope, I'm not going to try it. I thought I was going to go rogue and try it, but we'll just do it like this. That would be my luck, just to cut it all off. We'll just hope that it's nice and straight. There we go. That makes me feel better. Okay, now let's do this part. This part's easy. And I'm going to line it up with the straight part of the D onto this little edge right here. I'm going to line that up and trim it. And then if I do the exact same thing on the other side and line up the Y, let me use my little pokey tool again. Line up the Y with the edge of the plastic right here and trim it. And then you know both sides are going to be exactly the same. So that all measures correctly there. And let me do happy. So I can kind of line everything up. Oops. Use my little pokey tool and get it down. I'm actually going to trim a little bit more off this side to match the other one. Okay, there we go. Now I can start building my beautiful garden. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add my creamy cardstock. And this actually came out of my stash. This is old basil cardstock that I've been hoarding for years. But you can see that beautiful texture there. It's kind of a linen texture. So I had this in my stash. I wanted a really soft, creamy cardstock. And now I can do my sentiment. Here's Mother's. And I'm going to adhere it flat because I know I will probably pop up some of my little florals. Tell the other honeybees hi for us. We'll do, on our trip, maybe? Oh, on the messages. Yeah. That's kind of embarrassing, but you guys know. Real life, right? Okay, happy. And then I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to put it right in behind a little bit. So we have happy, and then day. Lift it up. I'm going to kind of shift that in just a little bit. Okay, Okay, so I have a Happy Mother's Day, and that could go anywhere you wanted to. Now I can start building my pretty garden. And so as I mentioned before, all these colors I kind of did as my grandmother's. This is a card for her. So they're kind of done in colors that she would prefer. I'm going to pop a little bit of these up, just like so. Let's see. Oh, Janet likes the colors. Cool. They're a little more subdued but that's what my grandmother, she likes that kind of stuff. Let me make sure I didn't make a mess here. Have that hang off just a tiny bit. There. I know I want that guy in the middle. This guy's going to go onto the right side. Trim off another little piece to go down here on the leaves. Let's see here. Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you. I'm just crafting away here. Let's see here. This guy is going to go kind of right over here like this. And then I can add my boo-boo, which actually turned out pretty good. I didn't mean to make it yellow, but let's see here. Add my foam. Tape and cut off another little piece. Let's see here. Birthday week. Will you have a sale? Sharon, I could probably count on it. I hate to tell you the wrong information. Lisa's in the chat. She'll probably know way better. You should have an in-person party at the warehouse. Yes, we're having an in-person party at the warehouse. Definitely. We're going to bring you guys along so you can hang out. We're going to do lots of live streams and kind of fun stuff. I'm so excited. I have never been, I don't think Lisa has either, ever been to the Honeybee Stamps warehouse. And oh, we're so excited. All of us, work from afar. Melissa is the only one that's actually, she has a team of people that work there with her. But we are all in separate parts of the United States. I'm going to trim this little guy off, and he's going to poke right up there like that, a little bud. Let's see here. This. Let's see here. Lisa, do you know if there will be a sale? Yeah, Lisa will probably pop in here in just a second and let you know. I probably should know that information, and I've forgotten. But Lisa knows everything. Let's see here. Is that her? I was preoccupied watching opening day baseball. Yay, it is opening day today. That's fun. It means it's springtime. Where is the warehouse? The warehouse is in Lebanon, Oregon. Yep. So we're super excited. I used to live in the Pacific Northwest. Well, I lived in Washington State. So I am so excited to get back into the Pacific Northwest and go and visit Oregon again. I love that part of the country. Oh yes, it's going to be a fun party. We're going to bring you along. We're going to live stream. We're going to have a ton of fun giveaways and things to do that day. I'm going to add just a few little extra leaves here and there. Just kind of poke them here and there and everywhere while we're chatting. We're going to do some demos. I know we're probably going to be showing you guys sneak peeks of the new product coming out. I hope to be able to do some demos with the new product. Kind of give you some peekies into that. give you a tour around the warehouse and show you how all your orders are packed up. The warehouse is in Oregon, yes. Show you how all the orders are packed up and show you maybe some of the sweet little ladies that work so hard on your stuff that goes into the mail. I know they work really hard on making sure those packages are, not only is everything look nice, but everything is safe and sound and packaged up nicely. Let's see here. Let's see, so we'll be sharing the rundown of the events on the 9th. As of right now, we don't have set plans for everything yet, but our live viewers will get the details first. Yes, so as with most of the time, you guys that are our live watchers, and we kind of talk to you guys more often, you guys will have the first details on how we're going to do everything. So we are in the planning stages right now. Okay, I'm going to give a little haircut to all my little images here so they can go through the mail. And then there we go. Okay. So you can see all the little bits and pieces, the color a little more subdued. I think my grandmother is going to really like this card. Okay, so what do you think about our no Copic, no pencil coloring, just using our oxides for that? All right, let's see here. My son lived in Oregon for a year and loved everything but the traffic. Well, I can tell you that where we will be going, there's no traffic. It's a smaller town. Let's see, I missed the beginning of the light. Are these new stamps and dice? No, these are older product. So it's just showing some new inspiration with older product. So this is the Cosmos stamp. And of course the coordinating die set was used here. I did white heat embossing, and then instead of coloring with Copic markers or any of that, I just colored with my Distress Oxide inks. Excuse my mess I've got over here. And then my sentiment for Mother's Day comes from this Best Parents stamp and coordinating die set. So I used the die that says Mothers. There's a coordinating die set, and I used Happy and Day as the stamps and put everything together, and all the colors and everything just kind of coordinate together. So this is a card, as I mentioned before, for my 87-year-old grandmother for Mother's Day. And so I loved going through my stash to kind of pull out things that I already have, kind of give some new life and play with the Distress Oxide colors and create kind of a little garden here for my grandmother. Let's see here. Thank you, thank you. Let's see, I avoid Copics as much as prayer. Okay, so Laura is saying she avoids Copics. You know, a lot of people do, and a lot of people don't want to spend the time or don't have a lot of time. This was super easy. I don't know if you caught that in the beginning, but all I did was stamp and die cut, and then it was so easy. Within minutes, I had all of this colored, and so it was easy to get this look just with my oxide inks. Let's see here. I had the Cosmos set and love it. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I'd love to see that. So make sure that you add that to either our Instagram at #HoneyBeeStamps or on our challenge page maybe, which is Honeybee Stamps Buzzworthy Challenges, and that's on Facebook. I'm going to try the oxide coloring easier, faster. Thank you, Sharon. Yes, it's so fun. I really need a Mother's and Father's Day stamp and die set. Yeah, so this is a good one, and this is still available at Honeybee Stamps, so it's Best Parents, and you've got either mom or dad, depending on what you call your parents, mom or dad. You've got fathers and mothers, so you could put I love you, Mom, I love you, Dad, Happy Father's Day, Happy Mother's Day, Best Mom in the World, and then there's the coordinating die set that's going to give you the nice scripty words of each one. Mothers and fathers, those longer words, have just a basic outline or shadow. And then mom and dad have another larger second shadow that has the pierced edge. So you can kind of see here what that would look like. So lots of options, very simple. It gets the job done. Lots of little mix and match sentiments that you could use here with best parents. And so that's available right now in the shop. Everything that I've used is still available. It's not retiring. Oh, there's another notification. Sorry about that. Thank you, Miss Sharon. Okay, so let's do a giveaway with you guys. Let's see here. I'm going to scroll through, and our winner today is Deanna Mulder. Deanna, are you still here? Let's see if Deanna is still here. Nicole loves the buzzwords. Hello, Nicole. How are you? Let's see if Deanna is still here. If not, we'll go and choose somebody else really quick. Pick up all my little pieces. Hello, Darlene. Thanks for joining us today. Let's see. Oh, Deanna is here. Perfect. All right, Miss Deanna. So if you'll just make sure that you have an account set up at honeybeestamps.com and then email Lisa at honeybeestamps.com and let her know the name that is attached to your account. So Deanna Mulder, I'm assuming. Sometimes, when you're on Instagram, people have different handles, and so it's a little harder to know their name. But if you'll email Lisa and let her know your account name, she's going to drop your prize right into your Honeybee Stamps account. I think she had to go. Hi, Kelly. Oh, great, Nicole. It's so good to see you. All right, you guys. I am going to sign off. I'm going to go play some board games with my kiddos and have just a kind of lazy Thursday evening. I hope you'll join me next week. I'll be packing to go on my trip to Oregon, but I'll be back Tuesday with a live stream on Instagram and Facebook. So I hope you guys join me then. Bye, and thanks for joining me. Happy crafting.